So my research was about the perspective of people with like depression or anxiety. So people diagnosed with depression or anxiety, like people with anxiety or like depression, both same, can have like panic attacks, and it's not them just like hyperventilating. It's panic attacks occur for them when everything feels like too much, and like they can't handle it. But that. So technically, people with depression can't really enjoy the things they like that much anymore. So let's say someone likes like reading or like going outside to play. People with depression will like stop going outside and avoid it, like just they won't like doing the things they used to do, and they will most likely isolate themselves and not talk to a lot of people for a time, for like a period of time maybe. People with anxiety feel like nervous, they feel tense, and they feel like they're unable to relax. Usually, people with anxiety always feel or think of the worst that can like happen, and they sometimes are like sensitive and like overreact to things if they say something. They always think about the worst if like they don't complete work or stuff.
Anxiety disorder is can affect like a lot of stuff that you're doing. It can affect like basically everything, because anxiety is when you feel scared or when you feel nervous for something, but it like lasts for a long time. Like you can't get over it. And some symptoms of it is like sweating, panicking, like face becomes like red or like goosebumps, like when you're like presenting. Okay, so the second one is depression. Depression is a feeling that you have like no energy to do anything, or like stuff for it, like nothing is very important to you, and it can lead to suicide. Eating disorder. Eating disorder can affect a person mentally and physically, because if you don't, it's like basically you eat a lot because like you're stressed or stuff, and then like you try to lose weight over exercising. That can like really affect your body by like making you like not strong enough or something. And like you eat like a small like a big amount of food in a small like time, like amount of like a really small time, and you over exercise like, and like you have anxiety. Okay, and that's all.
What are some ways you can help someone with a bad mental health state? You need to talk to them. Speak up. Speak to a qualified professional. Speak to someone they trust. That's the best idea to cure bad mental health state. For kids, it's very important that you eat healthy. What you eat is how your body behaves and impacts the way you think. Eating healthy, sleeping, and getting exercise is also a very important thing to have a good body and a good mind. What are some common mental illnesses people have? Depression is very common illness, and a person can suffer. Can trauma in your childhood affect how you grow up? Many of the traumas you have experienced in your childhood is a clear path on how you behave as an adult. Simple things like kids having a phobia towards buttons or zippers. Even as an adult, that beliefs her stayed and your subconscious mind tries to avoid it. Your childhood trauma plays a huge role on how you behave as an adult. Does gender affect mental illness? Mental illness is something that doesn't go as gender. Something that can affect someone's mental illnesses are their beliefs. What are the main reasons people develop some mental illnesses? It's the experience they go through. It plays a big role on your mental illness and how you cope with that experience. Let's say scuba diving. You have an experience water went into their mask and now they struggle to come out, but they both survived. But for example, maybe one person started having a phobia of scuba diving after that situation. How to manage stress. Take some time for yourself. How to deal with anxiety. Taking deep breaths really helps with anxiety as it calms your body and mind. But if you have serious anxiety and depression, it's very important to talk with a qualified person. Now I'm going to be talking about the do's to cope with mental health. First things first, take deep breaths. When someone asks you, say what you're feeling. Say that you're anxious or angry. Try to think of happy things. Release your anger by journaling and writing stuff down. Visualize your thoughts. Have entertaining toy and fidget next to you at all times. If you're feeling anxious, scared, or panicked, there are many things that you can do to help yourself cope with. A common response to anxiety is to avoid what triggers your fear. So by taking an action, you might feel more anxious at first. It can be difficult, but facing up to how anxiety makes you feel can be the first step in breaking the cycle of fear and insecurity. Now I'm going to be handing it over to Avni for the other questions that people have asked.
What is mental health about? Mental health is very important for the full functioning of the body and how the body behaves. How the body behaves is a reflection of how the mind behaves. Nowadays, mental health is very important. What are key factors that help us maintain a good mental health? Eating healthy, getting enough sleep, taking time for yourself, exercising, and focusing on positive things can really help with your mental health. How can you detect or notice if someone is struggling with their mental health? There are a lot of different types of mental health problems and they all have different symptoms. So if you feel like something's wrong, you should go check with a doctor. How can you seek help? If you need help, you need to speak up. People don't speak up because they think other people might judge them. That's why it's important to speak up with someone who won't judge you and someone you trust. How do you get a mental illness? A large part of the cause of someone's mental illness are what they experienced in their childhood or what they were taught. What are the symptoms? You can feel sad on one day and that's normal, but if you always feel sad and depressed, it's very important to speak to someone. Bye!